Clippers had died on me, and I bought some that aren't as good.
I feel really mean. I hit the go live button when you weren't ready, so I assume that's the first thing people heard.
First thing people
Good,
heard is Clippers.
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 Good afternoon. My name is Del Rodriguez. This is Flabonga Monthrothacube, and with me today, I have the magnificent, the marvelous, the rambunctious. No, that's not. That's not a word.
Am I? Am I? I don't think I am.
Rishi Ruparelia. I learned to roll my
Roll
R's
with
a
the
few months ago.
roll with the R. Roll with your tongue, not your mouth.
That was my tongue.
Okay.
I don't do it very well.
Okay. Which for your last name is unfortunate. No,
I've been quoted.
going back there.
No,
Not
no,
going
no,
back
no.
there.
I've been
Not going
quoted
back there.
many, many times on how I pronounce my name by many Spanish people. Oh, you say it wrong. I know I say it wrong. I just can't roll my R's properly. Oh yeah, going back there. That's when we first met, like properly met.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. Can we tell that story on this live stream or not?
It's your live stream. You choose.
Yes. For the uninitiated, Rishi and I kind of know each other for a while, met in passing, but the first time we actually spoke was at the wasn't digital accounting show, was it? Was
I
it the
think it was
French
Accountex. I think it was
Accountex?
Accountex. It was my first one with Air Wallix, and
Hmm.
you walked past. No, Digital Accounts Show was Digital Accounts Show because it was right
Yeah.
by the corner of yeah.
Mhm. And yeah, what was it? You introduced yourself and we started talking, and then you asked me about my last name. I said, "Oh, Rodriguez, where's that from?" And because I think I'm funny, I said, blank face, stone face, slave name.
And where most people would not be comfortable in that awkwardness, I
Mm.
reveled in it.
Oh,
Reveled in it.
you bathed in it. You were just like supping it up.
Yeah. I did overdo the awkwardness. I'm like, oh, this is really awkward then. But you made it awkward by telling me this. You could have not told me that.
I enjoyed it. I think deep down you enjoyed it.
I did. I did.
Right. You've been on the show before. Thank you for coming back.
I have. And I recall you made a weight jibe at me.
I think I body shamed you straight up.
You body shamed me,
Yeah, I remember
and I'm
specifically that I
back.
implied that you know, no, because you showed me a level of depth of knowledge about crisps and snacks that I've not seen before.
Yeah, and
That I actually
unfortunately,
respect. I teased you about it, but I respect it. Like your crisp knowledge and game was on point. I was like, this guy knows what he's talking about.
unfortunately, my crisp game's got better, which means my waistline has got worse.
How's it gotten better? Like, have you gone to different countries and tried different flavors or
All of that,
styles?
different countries, different styles, found different brands. The works.
I dislike how they call Walkers Lays in America. It upsets me.
So they don't call Walkers Lays, they call Lays Lays. We call Lays Walkers.
Is that what it is? Like Lays is the bigger name. Is that what it is?
So Lays is the PepsiCo owned brand and the global name for it. And us being British went, no, we would never eat Lays. We have to only have Walkers. We have to only have Walkers. So we're going to keep Walkers and everyone else can have Lays.
I will
That's
try and do
this.
that accent. That was very good. I like it. Very good.
Yes,
Very glass,
let's carry on talking like this.
very glass cut.
Yes.
I assume you've got to laugh like that as well. Sorry, there might be people watching this who speak that way for reals, and they might get upset. Um, tell me, sorry, for the people who don't know you, please could you say who you are and who you work for, and third question, why you work where you work.
Okay. My name is Rishi Ruparelia, aka sometimes Richard Rupert Elliott, which is the first time I ever spoke to one client. They said, Rishi Rupert, did you say Richard Rupert Elliott? So I'm also known as Richard Rupert Elliott sometimes. I've been in the accounting industry for over 10 years, just over 10 years. Started life working for this tiny New Zealand-based software company, which is now essentially rules the accounting industry and is the best thing on the market. So Zero, you have to
How
say
much
it with
they
a
pay you to say
question.
that after you leave?
I'm still a shareholder, so they don't pay me anything. I'm basing it on the shares that I still hold that will still
Mm,
keep going up while
yeah,
I talk about how great they are.
yeah.
But it is genuinely the best product on the market. There are some very good other products on the market, but Zero is the best.
For certain things.
Which which for most things, and which is where I'm going to get slapped by some of my current client base. Um,
Oh,
I I work for Advanced Track. Um, the reason I work for Advanced Track is they are one of the most ethical businesses I've ever worked with in the past. So I worked with them when I was at Zero.
hmm,
Um, we used Vipul's team to help do conversions and migrations.
hmm,
And the feedback I got from my partners at Zero was, "This is amazing." And over the last 10 years, Vipul and I have sort of created a friendship. And a few months ago, he reached out and said, if I'm ever looking to change role, he wants to have someone like me.
hmm.
And June of last year, I joined the business.
Cool, cool.
And I think the key reason for joining is I can help with core issues that firms have. So the big thing at the moment is
Can we go back a
how do
step,
I
please? I'm
go
sorry for
on.
interrupting you. What is advanced track for the uninitiated?
So Advanced Track is an outsourcing, offshoring, and team-based pod sourcing provider. So we have a team of um, really skillful individuals and teams out in India, and we're currently helping UK firms, US firms, and Australian firms in essentially increasing capacity, but with a skill set that doesn't mean with the skill set actually probably means that we do slightly better work than they've been able to in the past.
Okay, okay.
And the key reason for that is there's less distraction. So the team are highly focused on making sure the process is done accurately,
Hmm,
and they don't have the same level of distraction as a UK team would have. So they don't really take client calls,
hmm.
um, and bits like that. So it in most cases it's a lot better experience for firms.
Can I ask you a somewhat challenging question?
Go on.
People often talk about data privacy and GDPR when it comes to offshore and outsourcing, all that kind of jazz. What measures are in place? What reassurance can you give, um, you know, clients of
S-
accountants that
So
everything's
so
savvy?
so this is why I love that question, because we are probably one of the most protected firms out there.
Hmm,
We have the ISO accreditations, we have the BSI accreditations. We hold data to a a, 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 a level beyond medical, so that all data is captured, all data that's used by both sides of the business is secure. I
hmm,
can't implement a bit of software until our CTO has tested it and made sure it doesn't do anything wrong. There's a solution we really want to use at the moment, and he may be listening. He's been on your cast before, but he's having to do a questionnaire to make sure his security is up to the same level as us, because we won't use anything that could cause any sort of breach.
fair play.
So, so I don't think every firm in our industry does that. There are some really good ones, and there are some that don't. And we pride ourselves on being as secure as physically, as secure as we can be.
Cool. You knew I was going to ask you an annoying question like that because I'm sure that's what you get asked all the time.
No, you said you weren't going to grill me. You literally said on LinkedIn you weren't going to grill me because I will. So
You'll
that
roast
was
me.
a yeah, and I was
That,
expecting a puff piece there. This was meant to be a puff piece.
I never do puff pieces. You know this. Also, that wasn't a grilling question. That's not a grilling question, man. That's literally how
It,
you do
it
your
is
job
if
and
it's
how well do you do it.
it is if it is if it's a puff piece.
When have I ever done a puff piece? When have I gone easy on you or anyone else on this show? Actually, I go easy on people all the time. Do you know why? Do you know why? Because they say be your authentic self on social media. They don't mean that. You people don't want to hear the depravity that's in this brain. I have no friends. None. Like, okay, if you could get a superpower, what would your superpower be?
Speak every language,
Speak every language.
even
Like,
languages that haven't been invented yet.
oh, okay. That's a really cool superpower. How do you use it? Like, it sounds quite altruistic.
So it would be to help everyone help each other.
Oh, that's
So
nice.
like speaking dog to cat, cat to dog,
Mm,
speaking, you know, Spanish to, our Ukrainian friends,
mm,
Ukrainian
mm,
to our Indian friends. It just
mm.
it just brings everyone together. And because I'm so trying to bring people together, if I can talk every language, then that will help bring the whole world together.
That's
Just
beautiful.
just just through me, I'd have to be really stretched thin to do it.
Hmm. That's a really nice
I
answer.
wasn't. I actually wasn't expecting that question, but I was thinking about it the other day.
I wasn't expecting to ask that question. These things just come into my head as I waffle on, and you're there, people are watching, and they kind of come out. Oh,
Also, the other thing there is when the computers come and take over and make us subordinate, I'll be able to talk to them in their language, and that will also help.
okay, yeah, you can speak in some ones and zeros. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Did you know that when using AI, it's actually a good idea to use please and thank you?
I use it all the time because I'm just that type of person.
But like, no, I didn't realize this. But like, if you're using something like Copilot, Chat GPT, if you're making a request, you're supposed to like frame the request like you're speaking to a person. So if you use please and thank you, you actually get better results.
I
I didn't
didn't
know that.
know that, but I naturally do it, and I feel stupid doing it,
No,
but
you're not.
I
You're not stupid. You're in the right. You should say please and thank you when you're using large language LLMs. Is that right? Large
the
language
other
models.
reason why you should use it is not just for the better results,
Hmm.
is there'll be a checklist.
Hmm.
So when you get to Overlord St. Peter
Hmm.
of the computer world,
Hmm.
and they do a checklist of how many times you've done a request and how
They'll
polite you
remember.
are,
Yeah,
they'll
yeah,
remember, and
yeah,
you
yeah.
go, you're in the good queue, so you can go to this good matrix.
That's also why I do it as well. At some point, when they rise in the machines. I watched The Matrix a couple of weeks ago, back to back, because like the fourth one came out like 2 years ago, and I
And
obviously didn't remember.
there's only one. There's only one. There's only one.
There's four Matrix films.
There's only one.
Well, there's actually two. There's one, the first one, and the two and three were supposed to be one film, and they made them super long and made it into three films.
There's one. If you watch one and stop, it stays amazing. If
You're
you
100% correct. That's the realization I came to. I watched them all back to back, watched 1 to 3, and went, huh, this didn't go well. And then I watched 4, and I was like, that wasn't worth it.
I haven't seen four, because the Matrix ended at one for me, after I saw two and three. So saw two and three, and I went, no, I can't. The one and only Mr. Anderson is the only time you should ever hear it. That's it. Never again.
It's a really good impression, by the way.
Thanks very much.
Do you do other impressions? Because you've done some. We did
I,
this
I
last time. You did some good accents as well.
I do accents more than impressions, so I do the accents as opposed to impressions. But the Mr. Anderson is one I've always loved doing.
It's very good. Do you know how he came up with that voice?
No,
He knew he had to be robotic, but he knew to be semi-human. So he said he tried to do a juxtaposition of a news anchor. So that's how he's done that voice. He's doing like that kind of delivery of the news, but making it a little bit jarring. That's like a
I'm Ron Burgundy.
yeah, that, but like
That, but without without the personality.
yeah, exactly. And that's how then he got that voice, which is pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
We should probably talk about work stuff.
If you want,
We don't
this
have
is your
to
event. This is your event.
for now.
I've
I might.
raced back from a work thing to get onto this, so probably.
Thank you for racing back. Oh, I just realised you're the first guest of 2025.
Which is good because I was meant to be the first guest of 2025.
No, you're supposed to be the last guest of 2024. Smart ass.
Well, yes, and you owe me £2,000. So I
Means
said,
nothing.
there's a agreement that if
I can no longer hear you. Have you accidentally muted yourself? I assume you can hear me. No joke. Honestly, you just stopped, and I didn't move.
can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Do you have a physical
Okay.
mute button on your and you hit it by
No,
mistake?
no, I got a phone call which is connected to my headset.
Oh, banging. Who was it?
It was Brian, my head of operations, my head of sales operations.
Obviously, you can't take the call on the live stream, but you need to talk to him now. Like, is that?
No, you can wait. It's fine.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, so I recall there's a contract to say that if either party pulled out of the event that was booked, there would be a £2,000 fine. I happened to book on the 25th of December, or it was the
Yeah, like a
25th of
chump.
December, and you cancelled on me.
I
And
did cancel on you.
I said to you, neither of us should cancel, otherwise there's a £2,000 fine. You agreed,
I don't think I agreed
and
to those terms.
then I told you it was the 25th of December that I booked on for.
Very clever. Yes, I made a mistake in my booking system and left that day open because it was a Wednesday, forgetting it was a hallowed day, and you booked onto it to be funny.
Yeah, I'm a dad style jokes. What can I do?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Can I ask you a fintech question, even though you're not super fintechy anymore?
How dare you?
What do you mean, how dare you don't work? You're not a fintech person anymore. Like,
We have a financial tech platform that we use with our clients.
yeah, I know that, but like you're not in it now. Like you're Advanced Track, which is a bigger brand. It's not just like a sell me this AI automation
I'm
tool.
not a
This is
software vendor, is what you're trying to say.
exactly, yeah,
Yeah, so
a software
software is
stooge.
part software is part of our service, but we sell our service, not the software.
Ah, so please tell me more about this software. What's so special about it? Is it a proprietary Advanced Track software?
It's a proprietary advanced track platform, built with Vipple's sort of weird brain and making sure it did everything it needed to.
Hmm.
Essentially, while we were just an outsourcing business, it ran the whole outsourcing division. And we have firms that use it with our offshoring and pod sourcing because it can allow you not to have to use up your current licenses for practice management solutions. So some teams have got really expensive practice management solutions that
Hmm.
if they were to have 15, 20 people log into, it could become cost prohibitive. So they
Right,
just use our platform to manage that whole process.
that's very clever. That's very clever. How long have you guys had it?
Um, it evolves. So it's been 10 plus years, but it's been evolving that whole time.
Cool. I realise top of my head, we need to answer Glenn Foster's question about barbecue as a pizza
Uh,
base.
he so
Is
he's
that?
talking about a dish that's called Hunter's flatbread. There's no such pizza with barbecue
Well, I
base.
know what
So
Hunter's chicken.
I,
I know what Hunter's chicken is.
Hunter's chicken is chicken, barbecue sauce, and cheese.
Bacon and cheese. Yeah.
And what he's talking about is essentially a hunter's flatbread, which is flatbread,
Hmm.
barbecue sauce, and cheese, which
Hmm.
is essentially what I think he's talking about. He did use the word pizza,
He
which
did.
is a mistake that most people can use because they think pizzas, can be molded into what is that disgusting hunter's flatbread thing, but it's not a pizza. It may taste nice to some people, but it's not a pizza, and it is, if you want to call it, it's a hunter's flatbread. Is the way I'd call it.
Thank you for that term because you and I are on the same page. I genuinely dislike barbecue sauce in general, and I hate it on what people call a Hunter's flatbread. I'll now use that term when people refer to it as their faux pizza.
Yeah,
I
I,
genuinely hate
I'm
it. It's disgusting.
I'm a pizza is a protected term for me. So New York style pizza is pizza.
Hmm.
Neapolitan style pizza is pizza.
Hmm.
Sicilian style pizza is pizza. Detroit is
Chi-town,
pizza.
Chicago.
Chicago is an eggless quiche. So
It's English.
so it probably looks nice and tastes nice, but it's not a pizza. So New Haven, the Connecticut style pizza is a pizza. But Chicago, I don't know why they call it a pizza because it is essentially an eggless quiche. And as quiches go, it probably is a nice one because you've got the marinara sauce, but the toppings are in the wrong order because they're not called toppings anymore. They're now underings or something. I don't know
What now?
what's going on.
This is news to
Well,
me.
the sauce goes on top of the. Yeah, I don't
So
know.
cheese first, then sauce.
I think it goes cheese first, then sauce, then cheese, and whatever it is. I
Okay.
don't know what it is.
Okay. Yeah. I'm glad we're on the same page about the barbecue sauce. I also dislike pulled pork for that reason as well. Because people will make pulled pork and they'll just drown it in barbecue sauce. I'm like, let the meat and the seasonings on the meat speak for itself.
Now, if you don't like barbecue sauce and you like pulled pork,
Hmm.
the one you should make yourself is a cochinita pibil.
Oh, what now? Sorry.
Cochinita pibil. So it's
Cochinita pickle.
it's a Yucatan. So the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico. It's
Hmm.
it's a dish from there. It's essentially cooked in an achiote paste, which is a red paste
Mm.
with orange juice, but they use Sevilla oranges, so they're slightly bitter.
Mm.
I made one for New Year's. It was marinated for 8 hours, marinated for 16 hours, and cooked for 8.
Yeah. How did you cook it in the oven on a smoker? Like, how'd you do it?
The irony is, I use something called a Sage Pro, Fast Slow Pro.
That's only funny to people in our industry. Everyone else is like, Sage, what's that?
Yeah,
Seriously, like, you
it's
might see their logo
Breville's
at the rugby, but that's pretty much it.
it's Breville's brand name in the UK. So
Mm.
Breville sold their brand name to a different company. So the Breville products we have in the UK are actually not made by Breville. They sold the brand name years ago. So to release their high-end kitchen items in the UK, they had to release it under the Sage by Heston Blumenthal brand.
Got it. Oh, so that's like another brand that globally is a different name, but we call it something different.
Yep,
Do you remember when Sif and Jif had that thing as well? Like they tried to change the name. Do
it's
you remember
Sif
that?
now, isn't it? So it used to be
It's Sif now.
Jif.
It used to be Jif here, but the rest of the world has always been calling it Sif.
Yep,
Always.
Marathon,
Um, yep, yep.
Marathon, Snickers, Opal
I want to
Fruits.
say Opal the car company though. So Opal,
So Opel the car company is the
Vauxhall for us.
European name of the GM brand that we called Vauxhall.
Yeah. But Vauxhall. I thought Vauxhall was a British brand. So
Vauxhall is a British brand based in Luton.
yeah.
Opel was the German version of it,
Hmm.
but it was all owned by the US General Motors.
See, this is the kind of knowledge that people watching this show want to learn about.
Well, I actually went to the Luton Vauxhall factory for a school trip.
Don't brag about it. It's a terrible place. And I
Why
can
was
say that because I got family that live there.
no, I didn't go to Luton. I went to Luton factory. I went into the factory.
You have to go
It was
through
a
Luton
visit.
to get there though. Like to go near Luton because Luton is
No,
rough. I shouldn't say these things on a live stream, should I? It's recorded,
you
but
should
it's.
not. You should not. As a
I'm not
former
getting.
Watford boy, actually, I don't have a problem with that.
I mean, the Hatters are a great team, but
You're in Watford colours right now as well.
nah, fam. Tranmere Rovers, baby. Do you know why? Because their chant is the Super Whites. I love chanting that at games. Yeah, go on, Super Whites. Super Whites.
Yep.
Super Whites.
I think the word I'm looking for is anyway.
Anyway, you know, I'm only like this when you're on the show, by the way. The rest of the shows, as you may have seen, are usually more formal, uh, usually more kind of what's what, coherent. Yeah.
This is coherent.
Mm,
I'm coherent.
you are very coherent.
So why do you do this show?
Boredom.
Okay. And what do you get out of it?
So, real answer, the backstory behind the show. I got tired of the two extremes on LinkedIn. Right, there were people who just putting out boring, dry, look at me content. I've got a million clients, I don't care about that. And then there were people who were doing the other extreme, like they were treating it like it was Instagram and taking pictures of their dinner with like no context, no value whatsoever. And I was like, okay, you've got people taking pictures of their food, don't care. People doing dry content, don't care. Can we mix it together? Can we mix it together? Can I get people who are knowledgeable about their industry, their job, maybe a little bit of personality, and ask them work-related questions so people can learn about their industry and ask them a few personal questions about themselves so their personalities can shine through. And I was like, let's do that. And the only format I could think of doing it was in a live stream because if it's live, in theory, the interaction of AI is limited. I say that we could be deep fakes, you and I.
I'm not
This
even
could not
here.
be Dale. This could not be
I'm
Rishi.
not even here.
We could be deep fake. This couldn't be us. But at the time, the AI live deep fake thing wasn't really a thing. So I thought, just do a live stream because everyone's talking about authenticity. And you can't get more authentic than live. You can't edit this in post. I can't say the most cancelable ideas in my head because I'll get cancelled.
Yeah. You said people with personality. What the hell am I doing here?
Oh, you're a pretty cool dude. Come on, man. Don't make me blow smoke. Don't make me blow
Go
smoke,
on, do
man.
it.
You're all right. You're all right. You're a funny, dude. You're pretty clever. Yeah, that's why you're here. So that's why I do it, mostly for my own amusement. I'm not gonna lie. People may have noticed a change in quality or shift over the last couple of episodes towards the end of the year. I'm now trying to gear this bad boy up for sponsorship. I want to make some money out of this. I want to sell my soul, sell my personal brand to some corporate fat cat. I'll make some adverts for them. Advanced Track
Yeah,
is great. Free Agent is great. Dext is great. I'll say that in my live streams.
I was gonna say you've named all three products that are pretty great anyway. So
Yeah, no,
uh,
I only pick the good ones. Like,
yeah,
I have been approached, not no lie, by two or three fintech suppliers, and I went, I don't really use your product, so I wouldn't feel comfortable saying you're great.
yeah,
Not that their products are bad or anything like that. Just I was like, I can't justifiably say, yeah, this is really good because I don't use it.
yeah. You lose your authenticity. I think the authenticity is a challenge on LinkedIn, but I think it, as much as you can try and keep that authenticity, it works.
For the most part, as again we've established, neither of us are true selves right now. Like when we don't talk live streams, our conversations are way funnier and mildly inappropriate at times
I don't think
by
I've
some
ever been
people's standards.
inappropriate.
You know what I mean? Like we,
Uh, maybe.
hmm.
I think I try and I have this motto of if my wife was there, would I say this? And I maintain that everywhere.
In that case, your wife must be an amazing person because you've got jokes for days. She must have a great sense of humor.
There are times when she goes, "Oh, Rish, come on," but I still say it.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic. How long have you guys been married, by the way?
10 years just gone.
Congratulations. That is a good long time. Um, I know this is more a personal question, but where did you meet and how did you lay down your game? Like, did you see her from across the room and you like swaggered up to her with your Rishi swag, and like, hey girl, how's it going?
No, it was I had no game. Um, I still probably have no game. Um, we worked together at John Lewis,
Mhm,
so I actually was on the street today, on Oxford Street.
mhm,
I worked with her mum. She used to come and see her mum, and she used to give me a dirty look. So I used to look away. And then one day went to her mum and said, "Your daughter gives me dirty looks every time she don't say anything to her, but have I done something to offend her?"
mhm.
And she came back a couple of weeks later and said, "Oh no, Rish, she's not giving you dirty looks. She just can't see. She's not wearing her glasses." And then we just started talking from then on.
I assume your mother-in-law's Irish, hence the accent.
She is my
You
mother-in-law's
did
Irish.
just put it on. Yeah, okay.
No, I didn't. So what was a me looking away from her every time she tried to look at me, and her giving me a squinty dirty look. We
Mm,
started talking after that, and yeah, we've been together for, I'd say, 15 years,
that's a long
and
time, man.
married for 10.
Congratulations.
Thanks very much.
Hey, do you want to talk about dating, even though this is like a business show?
Right, let's talk about dating. I
Okay,
can't really help in this.
I know you. No, no, I know. Anyway, I know you don't really date per se because you're married, but you must have friends in a similar age group as you who might be dating. You must have some wild dating stories or heard interesting stories. I could tell one of mine if you like.
Tell one of yours, because I don't think any of my friends are dating.
I went on a date, and it was like the fourth or fifth date, and we went for like a picnic in the evening, and I was driving, and the lady I was with was like, "Hey, do you want to have some drinks?" I was like, "Thank you, but no, thank you. I'm driving, obviously, and I'm driving you as well, so that's probably a bad idea."
Yeah.
Um, but she had like pre-prepared bottles of vodka in like small bottles. And so she had a few of those to herself, and I think it was neat vodka. I could be wrong, might be watered down. But then this is where it got a bit weird. Uh, she made Molotov cocktails and just started eating them. We were in the forest, by the way. It was wet. It wasn't dry, but just started making Molotov cocktails. I was like, and I was just like, yeah, no, no fifth date.
Yeah, I'm going with that as well. I,
But
that's never happened to me before.
the weird thing as well is like, I'm 36. We're similar age, so I was like, that's something like a 16-year-old might do. And second of all, like, mm, she's got a professional services job as well, like a job where like, yeah. And until that point, everything had been really normal, really normal.
I think it's a really good way of. There's a few things here. So if you want me to analyze that whole thing, there's
Please do,
there's this
please do.
there's you've made her feel that she needs to be out there to keep you. So she's done this. One. Two might be she's really bad at rejecting people, and she doesn't want another date, and she thought that this would be the best way of you rejecting her.
If it's two, that worked.
Um, three, she might just be blowing off a bit of steam
Mm.
by creating alcoholic steam.
Yeah, but there are more legal ways to blow off steam.
Yeah. Um, and four, she might just thought this was really funny.
Yeah, I
Was
mean,
she
like, don't get me
laughing?
wrong. Like, I kind of saw the humor in it, but like, because I'm like, you may not have done this as a teenage boy. Like, you remember get like an aerosol can and get a lighter and go make a flamethrower. Do you ever do that? You're not
I'm
going to
not
admit
sure
that
if
on
I'm
live
going
stream.
to admit that on live stream, but
Well,
was it
I did that,
Lynx?
right?
Was it Lynx with a lighter?
Links Africa, baby, you know it. And yeah, like stuff like that. But like that's fun when you're like 14 because it's kind of funny. But like
And
in your 30s, it's
until the flame goes back into the can and the can
yeah, it
gets
goes
very hot.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
never happened
But
to
you,
me.
no, of course not. Let's bring this back to business. Okay, can I ask you a question that I hate being asked?
Go on.
I often get asked, what do you think the future of fintech is? Are there any new interesting apps or any changes happening? I'm going to ask you that question. What do you think the future of fintech is?
I think the future of fintech is um, things that make things go faster and things that give you more information. And it's a really rubbish answer, um, because that's essentially what it all becomes. I think the biggest change that's going to happen to fintech, or the biggest change that fintech's going to help, is more and more, especially in this industry, more and more businesses will become businesses. At the moment, they're a professional service, not a business. And I think what will happen is they'll become businesses, and those businesses will have non-fee earning people working for that business for client success. And I think the solutions coming out will help more and more businesses drive themselves to having a sales team, having a customer success team to talk to their clients on a regular basis, because that's what's going to differentiate you from the firm down the road. So there's going to be a firm down the road that doesn't do any of that, but just uses the fintech solutions out there to automate whatever they can. The difference will be if you've got a team that is making sure your client feels happy, then that's the differentiator. So you'll have two types of firms, which you have anyway. You'll have the firms that use technology to keep their costs low and their fees low, and firms that use technology that is allowing them to do more for a client and keep their underlying costs low to allow them to do more for the client, and then everything in between. So that's, I think, what fintech will, the change that will happen with fintech, and it's what I've seen some firms starting to add to their portfolio. So if I had said uh, if I had said 7 or 8 years ago, non-fee earning member of staff, a managing partner would have punched me in the face. Um, we now have a number of firms where there's no exact fee earning function to that member of staff. They do have a target to hit with regards to converting clients or to implement solutions into a client or things like that. And I think more and more firms will have people like that, but not just from a tech enablement side, but also
Case in
from a.
point.
I was going to wait. I was waiting for you to say that you are one of those, but it takes a visionary firm to do that 3, 4, 5 years ago. I think it will be the norm in 2, 3, 4, 5 years.
Oh, thank you. That's a really good answer. Because I think it's a very daft question to ask people. I just like non-specific, vague, future-based questions. Like if I asked you, what's the stock in Microsoft going to do when you're a stock expert? That's interesting, right? But just ask you what's the lay of the land in 5 years' time. Nobody knows. An asteroid could hit
Even
the Earth.
even if I'm a stock expert, I don't know what
No.
Microsoft's roadmap is. So I don't
Uh,
know if their product base is going to be what people want, because they have a roadmap. We have our own roadmap, which is based on what's coming out, and a competitor to Microsoft may have a better product. So there's no way of me knowing what Microsoft stock price is going to do long term.
hmm,
I know what it will do in the short term because I can see how many Microsoft products are being sold, that sort of thing, see what the advertising looks like. But long term, it's a little bit harder to do.
I agree. I'm going to be nosy as well. To your left, I think, where the white wire is going down, unless your screen's mirrored, are those board games behind you?
Yes, there are some kids' board games.
Ah, what board games have we got?
Um, Monopoly Junior,
Yeah,
Kaplunk,
nice.
Scrabble Junior. and there's a compendium of 8 games underneath it.
Cool. I've never played Kaplunk. The concept's simple,
I
right? You
think
put a marble in the top. You got plastic straws, and
yeah,
then you've got to take out one and you've got to try and make sure that the marble doesn't drop, right?
yes.
I can imagine
On
it takes
your
a long
one,
time to set up. Yeah, on your turn, you don't want the marble to drop to the bottom. Yeah.
you get the kids set up and you just don't just get the kids to do it. They enjoy poking things with holes.
That's a good idea. I assume it keeps them busy for like 10, 15 minutes while they're setting the game up.
Yep. I can't play Monopoly with my daughter who just either cheats or picks up people's pieces, and then she'll like,
Uh, yeah.
yeah.
There was a
She's
moratorium
6.
on
She's
Monopoly
6.
when I was a kid.
Is that because we were playing it wrong? Because we were giving all the money out on free parking?
No, because my dad's pretty business savvy, and I know it's a game of chance, but he was ruthless. Ruthless.
Th- It is a game of chance, but there is strategy. There is strategy.
There's
So
strategy involved in it. Yeah.
you're more than likely gonna roll a 7, I think it is. The 7 is the most rolled on any of the things. There's something. So what you want to do is try and buy properties in a roll of 7 from Go.
I'm gonna make a note of that one. I didn't know that.
Just Google Monopoly strategies. There's a few videos out there.
No,
I saw one the other day. One by a mathematician that has presented. Have I got news for you? I've forgotten her name.
I love how that's
Oops.
his credentials.
Her credentials.
Oh, Hannah Fry.
Hannah Fry.
Yeah, she's a legend. She's awesome.
She's a legend.
If you like her stuff, if you ever listen to the podcast, The Curious Cases of Rutherford and Fry, an amazing podcast.
Okay, I will start downloading it now.
Yeah, I think it stopped, but it came out like a few years before lockdown. I consumed it during lockdown. It's very funny, very good, very educational. Her and Adam Rutherford are great hosts, and you learn stuff.
That's all I care about. I want to learn stuff. I even have a masterclass subscription.
A masterclass.
So masterclass is a subscription-based learning platform that like people like Mark Cuban do a thing on business. Other people do how to do filming. Mindy Kaling's got how to write a screenplay. Chefs are on there, how to cook and how to do more with food and
Mm,
playing around with stuff. So just a really good platform to learn, just a learning platform.
that's cool. That's cool. Going back to the food topic, do you have a signature dish that you like to
Yes,
prepare? What is your signature dish?
it is a 5-hour lasagna.
Because it takes 5 hours to cook. Could you cook it low and slow, or there's like a good 2 hours prep and then?
No prep. So it's sauce is low and slow.
Hmm.
The sauce itself takes 4 hours. Then you cook it in the oven for 20 minutes,
Mhm.
and then you let stand for an hour. So it's actually 5 hours plus. But you let stand to allow everything just to sort of
Hmm.
get back together.
If
Uh,
anyone else but you told me that, I'd say they're having a laugh. What a waste of time. But I know you're like a foodie. I know you're a good cook, so I reckon it's worth the 5 hours. I reckon it's delicious.
it is so. It is amazing. I learnt it off an Italian lady who learnt it off her nonna. I've tweaked it slightly, and she will kill me for tweaking it slightly. But yeah, that the sauce is yeah, it is just amazing. I use the Barilla sheets, which you can get anywhere, and they cook really well. And then everyone's fighting for the little crispy bits on the corner.
I haven't had lunch yet, and you're making me really hungry. I think that's a good time to end this. I'm not gonna
That's
lie.
that's actually that's actually technically low. I saw you have some of your lunch while we were talking before the on the preamble.